Hello everybody, this is Mr. Van and I'm making a low budget effort here on reading your TVRs. This stands for Transcript Verifications and it's something specifically useful for grade 12s. In a normal year with all the students taking English, at the same time as a required course. We would just go into English classes, and I would do this with all of the classes. However, because of COVID, everybody's taking English at different times, and we really don't want to wait until the fourth quarter. This is a much better time now that we're kind of settled into our schedules, and we're making progress, and we're doing a lot of things around post-secondary. It's a great time to be looking over your TVRs. So these are going to get sent into your classes, and then you're going to be asked to watch this video. So thank you for watching it and making my pitiful YouTube subscriber and video count go up. Um, yeah. So without further ado, let's pull these up. And I want to just thank the student that was kind enough to let me blank out the important information of their own and share it. Thank you. You know who you are. Um, over here on page one, and pretty much everyone's is 2 pages. A couple of you have hit 3 pages for the large number of courses you've taken, but most people's are going to be 2 pages. So first thing you want to watch for is the name and address, and this is the most likely thing to be incorrect, and so I really want to make sure people take the time to get it right. The reason it's incorrect is because I believe it's pulling from my ed, and my ed, if you've changed addresses and not let the school know or the school hasn't updated it, it's not going to be right. So we want to make sure we get that correct, and so if you need to cross it out and make changes, you can put it right next to it over here. You can give it a little check mark or an initial if it's good, but you want to make sure it's right. And the reason for that is not this document, but your actual transcript, your official pretty looking transcript, and even cooler, your your dogwood, your graduation dogwood are going to be mailed, and it would suck if someone else got yours. So you want to make sure that we get this right. So process for this, fill it out, correct it if need be, give it a check mark, move on. You'll notice here there's a spot for signing, and I've written it in nice big red writing. It's important you sign this saying it's good. That's for the entirety of the document once you've gone through the whole thing. So you come back after you've gone through the whole thing to check it and put it here. Like I say, most errors, if there are any, are going to be right here. You can also check the information over here for birthday and things. I have heard of a student who once had the month and the date mixed up, but I would say it's accurate the vast majority of the time. Moving on to the transcript, none of you are going to have any provincially examinable courses because provincially examinable courses go back as far as myself and the dinosaurs. So nothing to worry about there. You should all have nothing. All of your courses are going to be in the non-provincially examinable courses, and I've blocked out a couple here just to make notes. So let's go ahead and do this. As you can see, there's a huge list of courses. This particular student hasn't taken anything twice, but if they had, you would see multiple efforts. So while transcripts only show best efforts, TVRs will show every effort, including fails. And if there's a fail, you'll know it'll have the little brackets around this 4 on the left and the right side of it. That means you didn't actually obtain the 4 credits, but it does have a record of it. Now remember that the thing that universities and colleges are pulling from is not this document. It is your official transcript. And when they pull from your official transcript, they don't get withdrawals, they don't get fails, they only get your best completed effort. So don't panic if you're like, oh God, there's something on here I'm not too proud of. Okay? The one thing I will say that this doesn't show is withdraws. So if there was something that you took in quarter 1 and you withdrew from it, you will not see it here. You will, however, as it says right here, see things coming up later in the year. So for example, this particular student is taking English 12 and they will be finishing it in February of 2021. That means it's quarter 2 and they're doing it right here. Their other class you can see here. You can also, if we move over to other spots, see other things. Actually, I think it's kind of blocked off, but you would be able to see like 2106 would be, which would be the thing they would be finishing in June of 2021. So all of your grade 10, 11, and 12 classes will be here. Fails, if you have them, will also be. Withdrawn classes will not be on here. It's a bit confusing, I know, but I want you to just look through and make sure everything is here. The credits are in this column. You won't see 2 for almost anything except for your English 10 because it used to be in, well, when you guys did it, it was in 2 parts. So like composition and literary studies was a common one, for example, and those would each be worth 2. Or if you did anything like young drivers, you might have got a 2 credit, lifeguarding, things like this, any of those external credits. I also want to point out, and it's not so much on this one, but some of you may have taken courses that have a Y code to them. You may have noticed this on your schedule before. Most courses have an M, which stands for ministry, but there are courses that are a Y code, and that means they're local courses. A couple examples are leadership, yoga, psychology, and so the names that you would see on those actually aren't going to look the same as you're used to on your schedule and your report card and things like that, because we take the time to make it look the way that we're actually wanting it to present. But we can't control how these documents come out, and so you may notice, geez, that looks a little bit different than I'm used to. So don't panic. If you think there's anything missing, you of course can circle, highlight, make a note, and that's when you'll hand it in and I'll look it over with you. You'll also see if you've done a numeracy assessment, literacy assessment, that it's down there on page 2. And most important, you're looking for this. Based on the above information provided by the school, the student should be able to satisfy the 2018 graduation program requirements. That is the grad program we're on because it came out in 2018, and you're looking for that. This means you are on track to graduate, which is, of course, way more important than everything else on here. So once you've gone through all of this, made any notes, highlighted anything you're concerned about, put a little question mark if you need to, checked the address, given it an initial, give it a check mark, you can sign it right here and you can bring it and hand it into Mr. Van in the counseling suite. Thanks so much. Let me know if you have questions. Always here to help. Cheers.